Welcome back to another LSU preview. Today we're going to be taking a look at Saturday's matchup against the number 4 Georgia Bulldogs at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay in the loop. If you like videos like this one, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when more videos like this are posted. And at the end of this video, if you really do enjoy, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. But let's start this video where things start for Georgia, and that's on the defensive side of the football, particularly on the defensive line and their linebacker corps, the front seven. Come Saturday, Georgia will field the best run defense LSU has faced all season, and by a pretty healthy margin. Georgia leads the SEC, allowing only 71 yards per game with 2.5 yards per carry. But in the last month, they've been even better, allowing only 50 yards a game and 1.8 yards per carry. But for LSU, the thing that's different this season, hasn't been the case in a very long time, is LSU is a very hard team to defend the run against because of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and just their pass game in general. We saw it in the Florida game. Florida is number 2 in the SEC, and they again have a pretty healthy lead over the number 3 team. But LSU ran for 220 on them. They ran for 9 yards a carry, and that's just because you cannot commit to stopping the ground game when you have Joe Burrow throwing for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns per game. On offense, it's kind of the same as their defense. Everything runs to their offensive line. They have an elite offensive line. Going back to that to the Pro Football Focus All SEC team that I mentioned earlier, 4 of their 5 starters are first or second team players. So it's going to be interesting to see how LSU's front 7 can match up against that Georgia offensive line. They don't allow sacks. Fromm was dropped only 9 times all season. That leads the SEC. And they run the ball pretty well too. They ran for about 200 yards a game, 5.2 yards a carry, which was good for about 5th in the SEC. But there's an interesting little thing that's been going on with that Georgia run offense here of late. In the month of November, they ran for only 148 yards a game. That was good for 10th in the country. And you might say, oh, maybe they just ran it less. That wasn't a case. They ran for less than 4 yards a pop, 3.97. And I'm gonna kind of put that on the shoulders of Jake Fromm, who really struggled to complete passes down the stretch. Teams knew that they could afford to put an extra man in the box because Jake Fromm wouldn't beat him, and he didn't. The last 4 games of the season, Jake Fromm completed only 46.8% of his passes. Now, he did throw for 10 touchdowns to 0 picks, so he's not turning the ball over, so that's good. But the LSU secondary with Fulton and Stingley, the emergence of Mo Hampton, Delpit, of course, and then some more freshmen and Kerry Vincent. That's different, right? And then it also goes without saying that Georgia, to some degree, will be without their 2 top receivers. Lawrence Cager is gonna miss the entire game, and George Pickens, their number 2 guy, is gonna miss the first half after that just pitiful fight against Georgia Tech last week. But I did want to mention this. This is a little fun fact. LSU had 2 guys with over 1,000 yards receiving this season, or I should say so far this season. Of course, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Georgia, on the other hand, does not even have a single guy that's over 500. Now, George Pickens probably will get that this coming Saturday because he's at 498, so he just missed it, but I still thought that was pretty interesting. As for my prediction of the game, I'm gonna go back to what I've pretty much said all season, is that I don't see how Georgia can keep up with LSU. And I think LSU's defense is playing the best that they've played all season right now. A lot of people don't look at that Arkansas matchup because it's Arkansas, but they really played well there. And then, of course, we all know what they did last week at Texas A&M, or versus Texas A&M. So I'm gonna go LSU 38, Georgia 24. I think LSU takes this one by 2 scores. It might not even be that close, and I think I might be in kind of generous because I don't want to sound like a homer, but I think LSU is gonna control this one. I don't think Georgia matches up very well with LSU. I think Georgia's a fantastic football team. I just really think this is a bad matchup for them. And lastly, my game MVP, not named Joe Burrow. And I'm kind of starting to feel like this should be called the not named Joe Burrow Jamar Chase MVP of the game. But I'm going to go with Jamar Chase because I just don't think Georgia has anybody that can match up with him, and I think he's gonna have another big 150 to 200 yard game, and Tigers are gonna roll with this one. The committee is full of shit, so I really don't feel like it's gonna be enough to move them up to #1, even though I think they are deserving of that spot. But what you're gonna do? So probably gonna see Clemson. I think they'd be back in Atlanta if I remember correctly at that game. So go ahead and drop your score prediction down in the comments. Like I said earlier, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the notification bell. Go ahead and put a thumbs up on this video. See you guys later. Go Tigers.